It is just a huge honor for me today to be podcast interviewing Dr. Oleg Drut on the right. Wave your hand so they sing, so the right.
Hello, everyone.
And on his left is Dr. Martin Rabinovich. Did I say that right?
Yep, you got it.
Rabinovich.
You got it.
All right. So Dr. Oleg Drut is an orthodontist, clinical care expert, and Diamond Plus Invisalign provider, recognized in the top 1% of the most experienced orthodontists in the U.S. He is passionate about his clients' overall health and well-being and has 20 years of experience straightening and brightening the smiles of people of all ages and backgrounds. His expertise, clear aligner therapy, and customer-centric care, inspired by the impact of healthy smiles on perception and self-confidence, Dr. Drut founded Diamond Braces to provide accessible and affordable orthodontic care that has delivered achievable results to all. As CEO, he rapidly grew Diamond Braces into an office chain spanning the tri-state area of New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut. His network of top orthodontists focus not just on helping clients enhance their smiles, but also on improving their overall health and quality of living. Under his leadership, his company has serviced over 100,000 clients since 2000 and is continuing to expand along the East Coast. Believing that orthodontic care shouldn't be a luxury for few, but instead be a basic essential for many, Dr. Drut's unique approach was to bring traditional healthcare practices into modern retailing. People shouldn't fear the orthodontists, he believed, and so he mainstreamed orthodontic care with a client-centric basic model to deliver expert treatments with personalized experience. He believed that seeing an orthodontist could be as commonplace as going to a hair appointment or a coffee shop. It just needed a process reinvention. His network of doctors is a testament to his commitment to provide easier, more affordable, and more enjoyable experiences for everyone, regardless of financial insurance status. He's a graduate of the New York College of Dentistry, running a full-time practice and mentoring other doctors. He still finds time to be a devoted dad to 5 children, plays various sports, collects war memorabilia, and trains dogs. On the left, Martin Rabinovich attended Rutgers University in New Brunswick, New Jersey, where he earned his Bachelor's of Arts, majoring in the biological sciences. He then went on to earn his Doctor of Dental Medicine degree from Rutgers School of Dental Medicine. After graduating from dental school, he traveled to Denver, Colorado, obtaining a specialty training in orthodontics and dentofacial orthopedics and earning a Master's of Science in dentistry at the University of Colorado. He's an active member of the American Dental Association, New Jersey Dental Association, American Association of Orthodontics. While in residency, he represented the Rocky Mountain Society of Orthodontists on the AAO Council on new and young members. He loves to travel, stays active hiking, skiing, playing ice hockey, and spends time with his friends and family. Well, thank you, gentlemen, for coming on the show today. My gosh, congratulations. I mean, your company, diamondbraces.com. I mean, you guys are just crushing it. Tell us about diamondbraces.com.
So we started Diamond Braces in about 2000, really, and it was a traditional approach like everybody else is doing orthodontics. And when ear grew over the years, we changed directions many times. We started all over again. And the last time we started all over again is about 2 years ago, taking all those healthcare traditional locations towards the retail spaces, removing the front desk from the offices. And my goal is to eliminate waiting room. I think the waiting room concept is obsolete already, okay? And it has to be an absolute patient-centered practice with a doctor as a core, okay? Because that's our expertise. We're doctors. We have to exercise our right to be doctors, okay? Especially in today's world when you have direct-to-consumer companies sending the aligners, okay? And we have to be better, simple like that. So about 2 years ago, we reinvented the company, and then we started just moving towards the retail spaces. Right? That's how we did it, and still going on. Now we're getting a couple of locations with pediatric. So in other words, they also under our brand, because orthodontics, I believe in prevention. Okay, it's all about preventive care, right? And pedo is a part of us. So, and I tell many our new graduates and orthodontists, pediatric dentists, they have to be a base to ortho, okay? We don't work for them. They work for us to prepare the patients for proper education, home care, fluoride treatment, and then we have a final stage in a preventive. After ortho, it should be no dentistry really, except I understand perio is genetics, give or take, but we transform lives. I truly believe in this. Quality of life. We improve quality of life. Okay.
Well, when I got out of school in '87, people were Omar Reed was talking about front desklessness. You just said that you just started this new model 2 years ago. You're trying to get rid of the front desk. Why? What does that mean to you? Getting rid of the front desk?
Well, we have open format, so people check in online. Well, they have all application. They check in from the car. They come in. We measure the waiting period, okay, waiting time. So our average waiting time in a consultation about less than 3 minutes. They sit it right away. And adjustments, people with appliances already, the waiting time is a little more, but we're fighting this to reduce it. I think the whole concept of waiting or a front desk should not be there. Everything has to be online. So when the patient makes a future patient or a client, they call them, makes appointment online, we check absolutely everything they already processed. We check the insurance, we check the history, we inform them what to expect, and then they come in, they already know. And of course, and then they see the doctor, basically, which verify paperwork. So front desk is not needed. We have a check-in areas. That's it. But no front desk, no traditional front desk. When you have a front desk, we have a concierge staying there, okay, and greeting the patients, and then that's how it works. And eventually, I think waiting room should be eliminated as well. That's the whole thing.
So does your patient
absolute? Yes.
Does your patient download an app, or are they doing all this on diamondbraces.com?
No, they download the app, which is called Diamond Braces.
So are you do you know of anyone else who's using an app like this for an office?
I'm not sure if anyone else is doing it or not, but I think it's convenient for not everybody, by the way, not every patient using it, but still they have an ability to do that. But when they come in, they just check in and they proceed right away. But again, as we grow, we change. It's nonstop learning experience. We learn on our own mistakes, obviously, but I truly believe in retail approaches with a healthcare compliance, I believe. Okay, that's what it is. That's what people have to. Orthodontic care has to be convenient. Okay, that's number one, and not expensive. Number two, and it has to be a given right for every single individual to have a straight teeth. Okay, I mean, we don't question. Think about this. We don't question somebody who has a nice haircut, right? That it's okay. It's a given right. You don't see Neanderthal man walking the streets, right? How it's possible still in the civilized world like United States of America, people still have lack of access to care. I mean, it blows my mind. In some areas of New York City, they have issues accessing the care. Okay, that's what we are trying to reorganize the whole approach and make it accessible, affordable, with amazing customer care. That's important. It's without compromising the customer care and, of course, the quality of care, because we are doctors.
So,
bottom line,
go ahead.
So, and bottom line, I mean, coming out of school and going into private practice and being an associate at Diamond Braces, you realize that it's a customer service business, and really seeing how, for example, not having a waiting room concept and really developing a system like that, it really gives a more personal approach to the whole process, and it puts a unique culture into the practice too. And patients realize that, from having no waiting room to having apps which literally explain every little detail, from before getting the braces to how to properly take care of them, to different videos of how to properly take care of aligners. I mean, it's amazing.
You mentioned, Oleg, when you started, about pediatric dentists. I know over the years there has been some source of friction between pediatric dentists doing type 1 interventions with RPEs, things like that, and then later on when they go to the orthodontist, there's been a little, talk back and forth. What do you think of phase 1 at the pediatric dentist office and phase 2 when they get older at the orthodontist?
I have absolutely nothing against it, as long as the dentist understands what he or she is doing. I mean, you don't question a general dentist doing endo. if he knows what he is doing, right? Same thing here. It really doesn't matter what your specialty is. Look, if you look at the European model, 80% of specialty work is done by general dentists. Here in this United States model, it's reversed, which is fine as long as the dentist understands and properly diagnose the case and properly executes the treatment. Why should be an issue? I don't really see it at all. Okay, as long as it's not overutilized. Okay, that's all. That's my opinion towards
So why do you think in Europe general dentists do 80% of specialty work and in the United States specialists do 80% of that work? Why do you think that is?
It's educational system, first of all. Educational system is slightly different. Residency programs are slightly different. But a good experienced general dentist, why he or she cannot do endo or perio or surgery if they understand what they're doing and they don't have malpractice issues. I mean, we train many orthodontists, and when you can ask Dr. Rabinovich, he is working recently with us. We had to, after specialty programs, we have to retrain them. There is an onboarding period, and we have a mentorship programs and so on. So educational system gives you a baseline, but if a doctor gets in the right position, the right office, then they learn ins and outs of specialty. That's what it is. So for us, even if we take a general dentist on our wing and they can do orthodontics, only orthodontics, again, specialize in one service, they can excel. It's not the issue. I really don't see a specialty is needed. It gives you a lot, but we have to retrain anyway on the job site. Okay, this is my job as clinical director. I train the orthodontist. That's what I do. We have systems in place, mentorship programs, and so on. Everybody has to be trained, regardless of their background or the school, okay, they went to. That's my opinion. But I really don't see the issue why, if a GP or pediatric dentist does some limited ortho, why not? Like Invisalign. A general dentist can do Invisalign. Some are really good. I met some general dentists who are really good with Invisalign, appliances. And Invisalign is a very complex process. It's not easy, okay? It's not 6-hour course with Invisalign pushing, right? And again, I've done over 10,000 cases with Invisalign. And I don't have any financial, stake in the company, by the way, Invisalign. So I'm not like advocating one over the other, but it's a learning curve, and it's a big learning curve, okay?
So you have a passion for making orthodontics more available and affordable. Is that what Smiles Direct Club was trying to do? Yet its IPO seems to have been a disaster. What are your views on that?
Well, first of all, you have to understand, Smile Direct Club is like comparing apple to oranges. Smile Direct Club is a marketing company. It has nothing to, it's a beauty shop. It has nothing to do with medical space, okay? I mean, they found a niche, which is teledentistry, really. That's what they do, and they exploit it. Now, they do have doctors. Nobody knows the credentials of those doctors who check the cases, really. I am not advocating Smile Direct Club or any other companies now on the market. I truly believe in a doctor-centered approach. The doctor should meet the patient, okay? The doctor should speak with the patient. The doctor should guarantee the quality of care. Of course, that being said, the patient has to comply with doctor recommendation. But teledentistry can be done when you consult a patient. But doing that approach remotely is just failing. It cannot be done. I mean, that model will never survive. That's my opinion about Smile Direct Club or any other companies doing direct-to-consumer shipment, okay, of those aligners. As I said, it's a complex process. It has to be doctor-centered, and doctor has to be responsible for the quality of care. Now, you go to taxi, right, for example. I mean, you take a taxi, you see the license of the taxi driver right on the dashboard. Same thing has to in every dental office. A consumer comes to our dental office, I have my license on the wall, right? So the consumer can see my license number. He complains if I do something right or wrong, right? So with the Smile Direct Club or other company, there is no such a thing. People don't know. They sign the release form. I don't think there is a future for that model, really. But the good thing about them, they spend so much money for advertisement. They increase awareness so much. And we as orthodontists will benefit from this too. that's how you look at it.
So you don't really even see any form of salvation of the Smiles Direct model. You don't see that it could be tweaked and kept alive. You see it basically as doesn't work. End of story. Over.
In my opinion, what's going to happen? The state regulations or federal regulations will will force them to put a dentist on the sides, okay? And they're going to go into DSO model. When they go to DSO model, it's totally different model. They're going to fail. Again, this is a marketing company. They don't have nothing to do with medicine, with dental. I mean, they're great DSO in this country, like Pacific Dental, like Aspen, but that's a different model. Smile Direct Lab, when they will be forced to put a dentist on the side, and eventually that's what's going to happen. I really don't see the future for that model at all. Okay.
So
consultation, yes, you can do consultation online. I mean, without X-ray, even you can. But again, you have to take X-rays, obviously, to diagnose the case properly. But remote treatment with aligners, it's a very complex process. Even limited cases. Listen, every case you need. First of all, you have to speak to the dentist, to the patient, right? I've seen patients coming into the office with a very limited cases that it takes us 2 years to fix because people are not happy, right? And at the end, the doctor's success is how many people happy with their services, okay? Forget about class 1 occlusion here. It's class 1 occlusion, we do it for ourselves. Now, the rest is for the patient, right? So even mild cases sometimes transverse in a difficult major cases because of certain unrealistic expectations a patient can have or something else, right? So even limited cases, it needs direct consumer interaction with a doctor to understand chief complaint, right? Treatment plan, execution of the treatment, and then retention. So if all these 3 parts, something is missing, it's just going to fail. With a Smile Direct Lab or any teledentistry platform, there is missing major parts here. So how can it work? It's impossible.
To piggyback on that, I think a big part that's missing is that when you're dealing with dentistry as a whole, it's different because it's one of the most personalized services in the human experience. So, I mean, the mouth and a person's smile is a very intimate area of our body. So I think that's where it's different, where coming to an office where there's a formal consultation where you're personally taking care of a patient, I think it's huge. And I think that's where teledentistry is. I think it's missing. I think it's missing that personalized factor.
So
listen,
go ahead.
Yeah. There is the telemedicine, and it exists in many major hospitals. There, a patient can contact a doctor, show the lesion, doctor will diagnose, and it exists. Diagnosis, I'm not criticizing Smile Direct Lab or any other companies doing teledentistry. The execution itself is complex and challenging. You have to see the patient. That's why, we have to build the locations and offices to see the patient. Listen, if it was possible not to see the patient, look at Amazon, for example. Amazon. I hate to do shopping. I use Amazon all the time. I just don't want to go there. And it's possible. They deliver it in 2-3 days. If I don't like it, I return it. Here, it's just not possible. I wish it was possible, but we have to see the patients every 4 weeks, every 8 weeks, every 12 weeks, depending on the case, to make sure that the treatment goes on track. Okay. Otherwise, how else can we deliver the results? It's impossible. In my mind.
So do you think California was another death nail into Smiles Direct Club when they signed that bill and when the governor signed the bill into law this week?
That was recent, yeah, with the X-rays, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
you have to take X-rays now.
Yeah, I think Smile Direct Club has a very strong legal team, probably the strongest in the country. I don't think. The stock went down obviously after that, but I think they're going to exist, and they have a lot of money to fight this. So I'm sure with time, again, I don't have, I'm not, Messiah to see the future, but I don't really think they have a lot of complaints from consumers. Okay. And we have a lot of patients from them too. We see. And then they come in, by the way, those patients, they don't like to do anything with aligners. They want fixed appliances because they lost their belief in that. A lot of those patients. So if they cannot deliver the results good, predictably. It just model doesn't work. Same with ortho, listen. And I see on many forums, the orthodontists, they say, oh, poor quality of work, poor quality of work. We can just say quality of work because I've seen a lot of cases with a bad quality coming from ortho offices too. It's not about quality here. It's about delivery model, delivery system, okay? And that's simple like that. And the state regulations, obviously, okay? But we cannot just say, oh, small direct lab doesn't work, or they work, you know? Again, I can show you hundreds of cases, transfer cases that we see that orthodontists did something wrong. I mean, it happens. That's why we are human beings. We all do mistakes, right? So we can't really judge on a quality, okay? This is an invalid point, and I think we have to educate the consumers or patients why it's important to go to the doctor. We have to be better, simple like that. And what happens in today's residency programs, and this is my routine question on an interview, when I interview a doctor, right? Newly graduate or recent graduate, I said, what do you know about Invisalign or CleanCheck? So they usually answer, yes, I know a lot. So I show them CleanChecks, tell me the mistakes. None of them can understand. I mean, because education is not there. They take 6-hour course, they do 20 cases, and then they come out of the residency program, and they really don't have a knowledge to treat complex cases. So they become in the same level with a small direct lab or any aligner companies, right? And they cannot compete against them. Simple like that. They cannot. They will not. Those are marketing companies. They spend many millions of dollars every month for advertisement. So what I'm saying, we have to increase educational levels of our doctors. That can help for the consumers to understand why it's important to go to the doctor, not to get aligners at home. You know, that's all. That's my opinion.
So you're saying kudos into Joseph M. Hogan, the CEO of Align Technology, who built that Invisalign company centered around the orthodontist.
Well, not just orthodontists, but general dentists can do it as well, obviously. But definitely, I like to work with Invisalign for a few reasons. They have a lot of tools in their toolbox that can deliver the results better than any other companies out there that print clear aligners, okay? And it's really not about the price per case. It's about delivery. Invisalign is a tool. ClearCorrect is a tool. Or if I put printers in my office, it's a tool, okay? I have to deliver. For me, and I've tried many different options, really. For me, Invisalign gives much more tools to deliver the results, okay? And it's a great company. I like them. I think they're growing tremendously. And I told Joe this, I spoke with him, this year, and I said, listen, the biggest danger you have to invest in the education of the doctors. If you don't invest in education, it's going to be a problem, And I truly believe that if a doctor understands the appliance, they will use only Invisalign, not something else, because it's less headaches, faster, and it's just better. Okay, for us. And we deliver the results for the consumers. That's all.
Well, now that would you agree that most of the patents for clear aligners are now expired? It seems like clear aligner companies are popping up everywhere. I mean, I think there's over 40 companies now offering clear aligners. Is that going to do you think that will harm Align Technology as so much more competition? There's like a Cambrian explosion of new species of clear aligners. Do you think Invisalign will be able to hold against all those forces?
Yeah, I think, only last AAO meeting we went to, only lazy is not printing the aligners, only lazy. I mean, look, but the quality is not the plastic is different. Listen, Invisalign invested $500 million in the smart track technology. It's just a different, they have a huge support. Listen, I went to Costa Rica. They have 3,000 people, 24/7 operation in Costa Rica. But plus they have centers like this in China, Europe. They have about 400 people development team in Russia. I mean, PhD. It's just different plastic. They invest money in this. Other companies, they are Neanderthals. Okay, so even though it looks the same, but it's not the same. But it's like having F-35 plane in your backyard. You have to know how to fly the thing, otherwise it's useless. It's a piece of junk, right? I truly believe it's a learning experience. And if they invest in education, in dental schools, online technology I'm talking about, then they will not go out of business. No, the world is very open. Now with the technology, listen, they go to China, there are billions of people there, India. And it's, I think this is going to be everyday product. Okay, and straight teeth, it's a given, like a good haircut. It's a given right for every individual, same to straight teeth. Simple like that. The price is going to go down more and efficiency is going to go up. That's simple like that. And the benefits to the society, to the consumers. Okay, but I truly believe Invisalign as a company, it's going to be there. It's going to be there for a long time, regardless of the patents. They invest a lot of money. And new products are coming out, by the way. I'm talking about plastic. You watch. It's just not enough time.
You know, you've made the example of a haircut 3 times, and I'm bald. And then you said, you said these other companies are Neanderthals, and I just had 23andMe done, and I'm like 4% Neanderthal. So I'm like a bald Neanderthal, just eating all these rotten tomatoes you're throwing. When you talk about standardization of the clinical process, I mean, it's so hard to get 2 dentist degree on anything. I genuinely feel sorry for my dental assistants because there's just 3 of us in one dental office. We can't even agree on the same burrs for a filling or a crown prep. And I swear, if I told my assistant several times, if you take away that burr from my crown prep, I'll quit. How do you get orthodontists that just come out of school to get them to all agree on a process when doctors, they're just, they each have their own mind. They each want to go their own direction. How do you, herding doctors is like herding cats. How are you able to herd these cats into one system?
I guess Dr. Rabinovich is better to answer this because he went through the experience.
Well, I mean, the thing is, in residency programs, you really learn the fundamentals of orthodontics, and then coming into private practice, it's a complete 180. I mean, so being an associate at Diamond Braces, really seeing Invisalign, you really appreciate how, like you said, it really makes everything a lot more standardized because it's a matter of virtually programming the treatment properly, and then you train your staff. So the beauty with orthodontics, you can train your staff as good as you want. So the staff can do a lot when you're busy, and with Invisalign, you can really minimize doctor time and expedite the process of seeing more patients by with aligners.
Well, here, not talking just with the aligners. Again, aligners is a part of our treatment approaches, but we still do a lot of fixed appliances. And the fixed appliances, braces will not go anywhere. They will stay. They're not going to be obsolete, okay? It's a great tool. And listen, we do a lot. But what the way we train the doctors and the way we have manuals, okay? We have case studies, right? And then if the doctor has any questions and want to try any other approaches, doctor will take and certainly do if it makes sense. But if the treatment plan issue with the treatment plan, I can always show them. I always show them similar cases that we've done with the certain treatment plan that it was successful. Because listen, malocclusion is malocclusion, okay? So you have as many variations, not more. So that's what helps standardization, and as a result, outcome is much better. Outcome of the treatments, but it's all about standardization. We can't deviate, and we have to really remove what's called variable of the doctor opinion. Okay, it's like think about Starbucks, right? And I love this model. You go to Starbucks, you don't say, "I want barista John to do my cappuccino," right? You expect the same quality of cappuccino no matter where you go, right? So in orthodontics, it's much more challenging, obviously, because of the human factors and variables, but it's possible still. Okay.
So I love the Starbucks one too. What percent are you clear aligner versus fixed at Diamond Braces?
Well, about 30% clear aligners, the rest fixed.
And what percent of your clear aligners is Invisalign?
100%.
And is Invisalign? I mean, Invisalign's a brand, clear aligner is the generic, but you're really seeing Invisalign, the brand, significantly different than clear aligner, the generic. It seems like you're really sold on the Invisalign advantage.
Well, I'm sold on the quality and easiness for me as a operator. I want a flawless, seamless process. That's all I care. I don't care what to use. I can use Mickey Mouse, if you call it, right? But as long as it delivers the results. Today, in today's world, Invisalign gives much more than any other companies, okay? Simple like that. That's why I'm using Invisalign. If tomorrow another company comes with a comparable product with the easiness operation, listen, I as I said, I'm not signing any non-compete or anything like that with any of the companies. I want to do what's better for our clients. That's it. Today, Invisalign is better. And they work. People are happy. And we track we track their satisfaction levels. So people, listen, people are happy. Again, 30%, we still have about 70% fixed appliances. It depends on the location because multiple locations, but an average about 30%, 35%, give or take. I mean, it will never be 100%. I'm not looking for 100%. Okay, sometimes we start with fixed appliances, finish with aligners. So sometimes we do aligners, then finish with fixed appliances, or sometimes we do one arch with fixed. We are orthodontists. We have to think outside of the mind, of the box. That's all. Okay. Yes, Dr. Rabinovich.
I think it comes down to what works in the hands of the doctor. So, in this case with Dr. Drut, I mean, Invisalign is the way to go. I had experience with an office that I work at. We print our own aligners. It's completely different. Definitely a whole different learning curve. So I think it's a matter of what works in the hands of the doctor, what you see as being successful, and then just go with it.
So
that's true. Agree.
You say that you've redone your business model. You started from scratch and just redone it. Does any of your business model incorporate anything that Dr. Gasper Lazara, when he started Orthodontic Centers of America in 1994, was there anything in his model? I mean, he was the only one that made it to the New York Stock Exchange and all that. Did any of his ideas hold through the history of time or not really?
Not really, no. I think that model failed because of issues with, it was not patient-centric model, really. We created patient-centric, client-centric model, okay? And in a high-density population, okay? Highly competitive model, all de novo locations, really. That's what we are doing. So it has nothing to do with the OCA model, no.
So why do you think the OC model was not patient-centric? What about it struck you as not patient-centric?
There was no mentorship programs there. There were no, doctor basically was doing whatever they want. There was no control over the locations. I mean, if we set up an office, we take control over marketing, over proper education, okay, compliance, all this stuff. We have to make sure that everything is standardized, really, okay? But we are not going to just put a dentist or anybody, doctor, because it's a challenging world out there. It's not simple just to set up office and then people will line up. No, it's much more involved. It's a complex model in ortho, in dental, as you know, any DSO when they run. It's not easy. So we really have to standardize it, and it's education-centric model, mentorship model, and most importantly, the benefits will be done. Patients will benefit. Really, that's what it is.
I agree with what you're saying. DSOs have gone from they're the talk of the town. They like to take credit for being the biggest drivers of the U.S. dental economy. Do you see any patient-centric models of the DSOs where you're thinking they're really onto something here and going to add a lot of value, or do you see most of the big modern DSOs in your backyard as being the same as Orthodontic Centers of America?
Absolutely not. I think they're great DSO, patient-centric DSOs, and some DSO are great DSOs, and they have really great mentorship programs for the doctors. Is really good. I think there is misconception in the dental world. DSO is something corporate. No, absolutely not. Doctor has autonomy to do the treatment plan. I mean, this is what it is. But DSO has to take on the responsibilities of training, of staff training, of supplying staff. Many factors there. Compliance. I mean,
what DSO models do you think are better, more patient centric, better at onboarding their doctors with training? Which ones do you like more?
I like Pacific Dental. I mean, I like them a lot. How they do. Again, I'm not talking about ortho services here. I'm talking about for general. Okay. I like Aspen. They're not bad. Okay, they're doing right things for the doctors again. Heartland, I think so too, but again, I don't have many details with the Heartland. Small brand, certain brands are okay. Again, that's my opinion. I'm not criticizing any DSOs here, but I think there's something to learn from DSO. Absolutely. Okay.
Unlike OCA. So OCA, nothing really from their business model from 95 to now really proved its history in time, but you do see promising aspects from Aspen and Pacific Dental of being patient-centric and better at onboarding doctors.
Yes, absolutely.
Nice. And so what would you say to Martin of someone who's thinking about they're in dental school? We know on this from our feedback from everybody that emails me, howard@dentaltown.com, or makes a comment on the YouTube section. If they were in dental school today and they were thinking about being an orthodontist, what would you tell them?
Well, first you have to really do your research, and I would start off shadowing an orthodontist that you might have had treatment from, or talking to faculty at the dental school and really getting a perspective on what it's like, seeing if it's something that you really may have a passion for, and then applying to residency programs.
And would you recommend one residency over another, or was kind of like if you can get in anywhere, just get in and go?
I think that honestly, when you're applying and then when you get in, I don't think it matters what residency program you go to. You can be in the best, most world-renowned residency program in the country. It's what you make of it as a resident. So it's how much time you put in. It's what you do to really, I mean, you only have, 2 or 3 years of residency. That's it. So it's how much you make the most of it. And that's what's going to really season you in terms of when you come out and what kind of orthodontist you are.
I can add, if you don't mind. And I interview, as I said, many doctors. The last thing I look where they come from as a residency. It doesn't really matter. Okay. Again, my advice to the patent students: get something that pays you. Okay, because I see doctors coming in with $800,000 debts. It's crazy. I don't understand how it's possible now after dental school. So all those residencies, try to stay with a minimal debt. That's really important. Now, life is what you put into this, right? So it really doesn't matter. You have to love the profession. It's a hard work, okay? It doesn't matter what you choose. It's a hard work. Orthodontic is a hard work, but you have to love it. That's most important part when you choose this profession. But in terms of the residency, which type of residency, get something that pays you if you get into this, right? I mean, that's my advice. The rest is the same. Okay, it doesn't really matter. You gotta learn. You have to experiment. You have to work hard. You have to try, and then you find the right office for you, and that's where your education begins. I call it, for example, diamond braces. I call it residency on steroids. I mean, that's what it is. So
well,
it's
it was a year ago this month when the Wall Street Journal had that article on Mike Maru, a 37-year-old orthodontist who graduated with over $1 million in student loans.
Crazy. I mean, it's mind-blowing.
I mean, did they start a GoFundMe campaign for Dr. Maru, or is he, how he's doing at this point?
But I had people come in for interview with $600,000, $800,000 debt after those expensive dental schools. I just don't understand how they can make it because they have so much burden to begin with. Especially
also for ortho, you have to pay for residency. So it's on top of dental school, you have to pay for residency after that. So it gets to a pretty staggering number.
Exactly, but not every residency. Some residencies will pay you.
Right.
So I might advise get something least expensive, or whoever, whatever pay. Get in, study good, work hard, get in, and then 2-3 years will pass by fast, and love what you do, and then work hard. That's my advice.
Let's talk practice management software. Do you have special? Do you just what type of software are you using? Cloud9 software? What are you using to run all these dental offices? How many offices do you have?
We currently have about 23, but we're adding about 10 more as we speak. So probably first quarter of next year, we're going to have about 35 locations. But what we are using now, we tried them all, those softwares. Unfortunately, ortho market is very small, okay? So there is not a lot of choices, okay, to use. Dental is much bigger market. That's why I have more choices. But in ortho, and we even tried to write our own, right? And we failed. So we're using now Ortho 2 Edge, okay? And it's one database. It's not the best software, okay? It's not the best, but it's probably better than what I have seen, okay, out there. We're probably the biggest client for them now, and we advise them on development of their software, really, on certain parts that were missing, okay? That's what it is, but eventually we will have to write our own software. Okay. In fact, big DSO, they have their own softwares, and I think it's coming to that point that we have to have our own software, our own. But it's a challenge. It is a challenge.
So what are they missing that makes you gonna have to write your own? It seems like such a waste. It's what are they missing?
Well, for example, billing. All those softwares were built on a notion that it's a fee-for-service practice, that people come, they have a balance, they pay. It's just different world out there. People change insurances all the time, for example. In New York, people change the job, change insurances, and so on. So it doesn't have those capabilities to track properly, okay? And it's, plus, another thing, that the people is very human. There is a human error prone, okay? So if the status is wrongly placed by associate, the whole report is going to be off. So it's just a lot of not necessary work or too much work for user, okay? There is no proper flow, let's put it this way, or compromised flow. Even though it has certain benefits, obviously. It's one database, we can access any patients from anywhere, but it could be improved. And we're working with them constantly to improve the operation of the software itself, okay?
But right now, the best one, in your opinion, is Ortho 2, makers of Edge Cloud 6?
Yes, that's correct. We tried all of them, Dolphin, we tried Ortho Track. It just, or price structure was wrong or something else, support was different. Those guys, they have about 50 or 70 people in support, plus Shine bought, I believe, 50% of them now. It's probably better than the rest. Again, in my opinion, you might disagree, but there is no perfect software for orthodontics in at least from what we've seen. We wish there was something better. Now they building the PIDA platform, so we're gonna be testing that PIDA platform because we're going to the PIDA space. We'll see. What can I say?
So Henry Schein owns a big chunk of Ortho 2.
That's correct. I believe.
And do you think that's a plus or a minus? When Henry Schein buys a company, when Stan Bergman, part of his Internet One strategy of buying a lot of digital companies to kind of get away from a sundries selling supplies, but more a digital company as he buys, Henry Schein 1, they own WebMD, Ortho 2. Do you think that's a big plus or not really?
Hard to say. I know that there's pretty smart people running Henry Schein. They have a great experience and understand the dangers of of online services like Amazon. They will go in the medical space as well and dental space. So I'm sure they want to diversify now, and that's what they're doing. But will it be successful or not? I mean, it's hard to say. For now, I didn't see any benefits of them having half of that Ortho 2 model. I mean, I have not noticed that.
And what are you doing for accounting? I mean, you have so many locations. What software are you using for accounting?
Well, we do what the name? Nothing special. I mean, how you call it? I don't even. We have bookkeepers that run it.
But I mean, are you doing it on Quicken, QuickBooks Pro?
Yeah, QuickBook Pro we have. What else? Again, I'm not accounting. It's hard for me to speak with this. I just read P&L statements and all this stuff. But QuickBook Pro, now we switch to the payroll company, Ultra Pro. Okay. Yeah, Ultra Pro, which is supposed to be good. We'll see. We just start integration with them. But that's about it. But
Ultra Pro payroll?
Yes, payroll, but they have and they have a huge platform. It's not just a payroll. We used to have ADP Pro, but they failed. Really, it's
you
not.
To have what?
Pro. It's Ultra Pro.
Say it
now
again.
It's Ultra. ADP. We used to run with ADP, but it was not a successful model. Okay, ADP doesn't have capabilities what Ultra Pro does.
So ADP does the payroll for 1 in 6 Americans, and you tried that and it wasn't good for you, so you switched to Ultra Pro.
Yeah, but they didn't have, for example, labor allocation. Okay, so for us, assistants can travel from one office to another. We had to have an exact labor allocation. They don't have trackable system. Okay, so they didn't have a lot of stuff, even though it's a big company, but means nothing really. Big companies sometimes they don't deliver too. So that's why you gotta choose what's better for your company. It's very customizable. Listen, but we just started with Ultra Pro. They're more expensive, by the way, than ADP.
So when you're saying UltiPro, it's ULTIPRO, UltiPro?
Correct.
And but does that include accounting?
No.
Yeah. So
accountants, we use something else, right?
But are you sure your accounting is on QuickBooks Pro? Is you don't need anything more sophisticated than that to run 30, 40 dental offices?
I mean, I cannot answer this question, really. I don't want to make a mistake, answer something that I'm not. I know that my bookkeeping, accounting, receivable, payable, they use QuickBook Pro. But what my CPA is using, I mean, it's hard for me to say.
Yeah, it's just I've been screaming at my colleagues since 1987. You know, why doesn't my practice management software hook up to accounting? And it's still and then when you go talk to the big boys like Stephen Thorne over at Aspen, I'm like, we had to do our own.
They have to do our own,
and then when I literally begged Stan Bergman, I mean, I literally flew to his office, begged him to hook up Dentrix to accounting, and he listened. I love Stan. He total listen guy, but he sent a questionnaire to 1,000 of my colleagues, dentists, saying, you know, is this important to you? And they said no. And Stan just looks at me like, sorry, dude. So, I love dentists, but man, their dentistry has gotten so far ahead of their business skills. I just wonder if it will ever catch up, or even if it can catch up. What do you find the most challenging of managing 20, 30 offices? How many offices did you say you'll have this time next year? Or how many do you have now?
This time we are 23 now, but we adding about 10 more. So it's going to be about 35, 40 locations. And by next year, this time, again, we're in the process of building. They're all de novo locations, I mean, brand new. That's our model, really. We build the offices, we staff them. The biggest challenge is staff training, okay? Staff training, making them follow those KPIs that we put them in them and then following. That's a challenge that we think that's not easy to overcome, but we're trying. And with today's online capabilities, we really can utilize all these tools in our toolbox to control the situations in every location. Okay, that's what I believe, and we're working on this every day. And listen, I think we're gonna succeed. We'll see.
And do you have private equity behind you? Do you have partners? Is this all Dr. Oleg Drut? How do you how does that look?
For now, it's only Dr. Oleg Drut, but we're trying to change this model to it has to be really employee owned model because it doesn't really work otherwise. So we're gonna start selling equities to the doctors, and that's how we're gonna do it. It has to be doctor owned model, really, or not just doctors, executive team own model.
So will you do that with an ESOP or
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think so. But we'll still trying to figure out the best approach. I mean, I'm sure the best approach. There's multiple approaches to this, but we have to find what works for us. I mean, there is no quick answer to this. Really, that's a challenge to make sure that. But it has to be doctor-owned model, and we're gonna do it this year, this or next year, really.
There was an orthodontist in Arkansas who decided he was going to start having a hygienist cleaning his patients' teeth. Did you guys hear about that? And what were your thoughts on that?
I know this orthodontist. I think we don't do this. Let's put it this way. I don't want to take general dentist business. Okay. I don't want to. We still depend a lot on referral from a general dentist. Okay, we're in the city, and we work with many general dentists. So we don't even do bleaching. Let's put it this way. The only thing I'm gonna do, we're gonna get in the space in some limited locations, PIDA space. Again, very limited PIDA, hygiene, prophy, sealants, nothing crazy like surgical stuff. No. That's about it. But we are not doing any cleanings for. We employ hygienists as an assistant, but they don't do cleanings. Let's put it this way.
So that was the orthodontist Benjamin Gray Harris, orthodontist in Fort Smith, Fayetteville, who I always stay on abreast of because my sister Kelly lives in Fort Smith, Arkansas. But so you don't think that's really part of the duties of an orthodontist is to also clean their teeth for convenience, easy to do. It's easy to use.
I think you're just stepping on on other doctors' turf, which may definitely open up some controversy.
Yeah, that's true. I think we have to be professional, and we work with other professionals. I mean, that's my philosophy, and it's all very small world out there, right? Dentists have to respect each other. We never criticize dental work when they come in. I mean, this is not how we work. I believe in respect, and I'm not going to take business. We're not going to take business from other professionals. If a patient needs a clinic, I'll refer them out to the dentist, okay? If they don't have a dentist, we'll give them some suggestions, okay? That's about it. But we are not, I disagree with the concept just to do general dentistry in the site, even in clinics, even in bleaching, as a matter of fact. We don't do it. We give patients the syringes, but we're not going to charge for that. Let's put it this way.
So another big question, dentists and orthodontists always get really focused when the decision involves a lot of money, obviously. And switching from a Pano to a CBCT is a lot of money. Some radiologists some oral radiologists have come on this program, do not like the routine use of a CBCT on a child. On all your locations, is it all CBCT? Is it any two-dimensional Pano? What are your thoughts on someone wanting to upgrade from a Pano to a CBCT?
I don't think it's necessary. Okay, I think, especially in orthodontics, companies that produce certain stuff, they try to push on the doctors. When you have experience, you don't need any CBCT. I mean, take a pen and look at the patient. Really, you know where the palatal impaction. You know when the impaction will. I mean, again, sometimes we refer for that, but it's so seldom that I don't feel that we have to invest in that technology. It's really not about expense here. I mean, the prices will go down, I'm sure, but I never found any need to have it. Okay, scanners definitely, yeah.
I think it depends on the type of practice. Like, for example, we when I was in residency at Colorado, we had a CBCT. So definitely for a residency program, it's convenient because it takes everything in one shot, and you can use it for research capabilities and things like that. So I just think it depends on the type of practice setting.
But
That's a good point.
But right now you have no CBCTs. You don't have any of them.
None, zero.
And you're the largest Invisalign provider in the tri-state area.
Yeah, I mean, probably from a mid-market, we're number one in North America. Mid-market space.
So see, people, kids. That's what I'm telling you. You always feel good when you make a big purchase. There's no doubt about it. And that's what draws you into all this deficit spending. But I mean, you can do this without a CBCT. So you're listening to the guy. These guys are the number one Invisalign providers, probably in North America, and they don't have a CBCT. And then you will sit there with all the student loans, $750,000 mortgage on your practice. You just bought a house. Your wife is pregnant, and all you can do is come up with 3 reasons of why you need a CBCT. I mean, if the only thing your brain can do is to convince you to get into more debt, then you should just you should just make all your decisions and then do the opposite. Why do you think dentists get into so much debt? Like how did that guy get $1 million in student loan debt? I mean, how does this happen?
I think they get influenced by big companies who sell those items, high ticket items. You cannot, plus the peer pressure.
You got to keep it simple.
That's true. I have never seen a patient who would come to office. Do you have CBDC? I mean, nobody cares about this. They have to have a clean office, good sterilization, good pleasant doctors, good pleasant staff. That's what people look, and good location, obviously. Okay, but they care what type of chair you put in there? Okay, is it Italian for $20,000? Castellini chair or some? I mean, this is nonsense. It's a nonsense. Okay, so it's not going to give you better edge through the compared to competition. You have CBTC or not. I mean, it's just, as I said, we never owned one single unit, really. I don't feel the need of it. And I'm asked this question many times. I mean, I've done 10,000 aligner cases, okay? Full, comprehensive, I'm talking about, right? 10,000 patients over on my count. I mean, absolutely no need for that.
Mike Barr, who's known as the dental warrior, he has a very large footprint in dentistry. He wrote an article one time that said, "Why are orthodontists so hostile to GPs doing ortho?" Do you think that's a general assessment, or do you think that's a rare event?
I mean, it's hard to say. When I look at the forums, what people respond, and some of the doctors, they ridicule those GPs. Oh, I had an ortho case from a GP. Look what they did. I don't think it's appropriate to comment on something like that, okay, without understanding the roots of what happened, why it happened. I think I've seen great GPs, by the way, and great Invisalign providers with a great quality of care. They're GPs, okay? So, and I've seen very poor orthodontists too. They're orthodontists, they do terrible job. So, I mean, I think it's about personality, not about your profession. I mean, you GP or orthodontist. So we have to be respectful to each other. We're in a small world out there, okay? We're all dentists. We have our obligation to do good for the community. Now, if you agree and you take on every case, if you don't get training or certifications, that's your issue. You should get sued for that, right? But if you take a course, see credits, you try slow, you have advisor, mentors, why not? Why a GP cannot do ortho? I mean, I don't think it's appropriate to comment on that, really.
Well, I mean, in your tri-state area, like say the Greater New York meeting, it's the biggest meeting in North America. Do they ever have classes by orthodontists that are teaching general dentists how to do Invisalign?
Of course.
During the meeting?
Yeah.
By board certified orthodontists teaching general dentists how to do Invisalign?
Yes. I mean, the same, and the dentists, they teach general dentists how to do endo, or perio, they teach, I mean, why ortho is different than endo, perio, or extraction of the tooth? I mean, this is the same thing. It's a procedure.
Martin, do you agree, though? I mean, Martin, do you agree that the Greater New York Dental Meeting has lectures by board-certified orthodontists aimed at teaching general dentists how to do Invisalign?
That I don't know. That I don't know. I've only been to that meeting once. So I don't know. But
again, Dr. Oleg Drut, you are aware of, you feel like there are courses at the Greater New York Meeting taught by board certified American orthodontist teaching general dentists how to do Invisalign?
I'm not sure about that particular meeting. I'm just aware that courses offered in New York that taught by orthodontists. I'm not sure about board certified or not. I cannot comment on them. And they teach general dentists how to do Invisalign, yes. I'm not sure about Greater New York meeting itself. I mean, it's been a while since I visited that meeting. But I just use the products. I don't attend the lectures there. But even if it exists, I don't see the reason why not. I mean, what's wrong with that?
And
If you, yeah.
I know we come up to an hour. Can I hold you just for a couple more overtime questions real quick?
Sure.
Is moving teeth too fast and root resorption, is that problem getting less, the same, more? I mean, that we've been seeing that for 30 years. How is root resorption in ortho look to you today versus 10, 20, 30 years ago?
Just based on my experience of probably 100,000 patients, I think root resorption is a mostly genetic, okay? Certain areas of the world, they have much. And in New York, we have a luxury to treat different populations, really. I mean, you name it, from all around the world. I think root resorption is more genetic than I understand it happens in some minor, but it's not an issue at all, even to speak about it, even though we have informed consent. But I've seen genetic root resorption that done in certain population that we can see pattern, like female population, like Hispanic populations from certain areas of the world. It's interesting. I think it's more genetic than caused by ortho, really. Now, we always start from low forces anyway, and then gradually build up the force. And I really never had issues with root resorption caused by, I mean, I have not seen it.
Well, there's an orthodontist in Canada where they're basically starting a non-invasive therapeutic ultrasound orthodontic treatment. The AVO system will facilitate faster tooth movement and decrease orthodontically induced tooth resorption, says the founder, CEO, Smile Sonica. And he's got a couple of orthodontists on board with him, Dr. Terry Carlisle, an orthodontist in Canada. He's got another one, Billy Withchild, who's the... But anyway, do you think, if it's more genetic, do you think this ultrasonic, non-invasive therapeutic ultrasonic orthodontic treatment is... What are your thoughts on that?
I would be skeptical to this. Again, we need studies, and then good studies, not something random, okay? We need samples of population, equal population, to compare what is faster. Many companies claim faster, but what is faster? I mean, we tried many modalities. I don't think it's faster. It really depends on the doctor, how he or she is doing mechanics, right? That's what it is. But I would be skeptical to believe the claims without seeing actually studies, population samples, and then comparison. You know, that's what it is. But I wouldn't just buy the product because somebody claims that it's faster, you know.
And you buy a lot of fixed braces. Are you brand loyal? Is there one brand of fixed braces that is faster, easier, better for you and your locations?
We use a standardized approach. It's basically 22 slot what we use, and not self-ligating, not self-ligation. I think it doesn't really matter what you use, as long as you understand that bracket is a tool. It doesn't matter, you know, as long as you don't have a lot of breakage. We track the breakage, obviously, and it has to have a good mesh. But I'm not loyal to any. I mean, whatever best, it has to be reasonably priced, obviously.
Well, what brand are you using?
We have different brands, really. I mean, we don't, but as I said, bracket is a tool. You can use whatever. I can make a good orthodontist will straighten teeth with composite blocks. As far as I'm concerned, we can do it. It just takes longer, you know, that's it. But brands are, again, we using just twin bracket, 22 slot, pretty large bracket that gives us better flexibility in rotations. And that's it, you know. The regular stuff. Ceramic we use, I believe, don't even know, Ormco or JC now. I don't really remember. clarity, right? In ceramics, again, Invisalign, we use Invisalign, and metal, we use, it doesn't matter what. I mean, so they're all the same, as long as it doesn't give you a lot of breakage, because sometimes when you buy a cheap brand, they have an issue with the mesh, so you have a lot of breakage. That's what happens with those brackets. So it has to, we track the breakage rate. Okay, sometimes breakage because of it happens, right? So we track the basically emergency breakage and so on. I mean, that's how we do that.
Last but not least, and I'll let you gentlemen go back to work. There's still, I hear a lot of dentists saying, don't get those braces off till the wisdom teeth are out. You need a lingual retainer. So, you know, what are your thoughts on the wisdom teeth? There's a lot of oral surgeons in Germany saying that they think Americans remove way too many wisdom tooth. And then when you look at the wisdom tooth issue, would you agree that the retention of an orthodontic case is more difficult than straightening the teeth to begin with?
Yeah, Martin, go ahead and do it.
I mean, I think it depends. I mean, there's a lot of different scenarios. Sometimes you have to remove wisdom teeth during treatment at an early age, because sometimes the wisdom tooth can be inhibiting, for example, a second molar from coming in. So there's a lot of scenarios that can arise. As far as retention, there are studies where they've shown that wisdom teeth were removed and crowding still occurs. So it's just, there's a lot of variables.
Yeah, I don't think wisdom teeth has anything to do with relapse, okay? It's a treatment plan, crowding, many genetic factors, but wisdom teeth, I mean, I'm very conservative in nature. I'm not going to remove any wisdom teeth unless it interferes with my mechanics. If the second molar is impacted, obviously, I'm going to remove the wisdom tooth. If there is a pathology, I will remove the wisdom tooth. Otherwise, no. But the retention, you ask about retention, is one of the most important parts of the treatment. If the retention is not properly done, the whole treatment fails, okay? So that's why when we talk about dentistry and they send those clear aligners, retainers, they usually fail. People they're not going to wear it for a long time. So our approach is we put permanent retainers on lower, unless the patient refuses, okay, and then we give the clear, and then we supervise for about a year. That's our approach. But I don't think wisdom teeth have anything to do with post-treatment relapse. Okay?
So your go-to
with or without
retainer,
the teams, yeah.
Your go-to retainer is a bonded lingual bar.
Yes.
And is it is it a band on the canine or just cemented on the lingual?
Cemented on the lingual.
Yeah. Okay, well, it was just an honor for you guys to come on today. It was just so fun to interview the largest Invisalign provider in the United States. Talking to you guys who have done 100,000 cases. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.
It was a real honor to podcast.
Thank you very much.
All right, have a great day.
Bye-bye.